Manchester City's $405 million stadium overhaul isn't just a facelift. It's one of the most extreme transformations in Premier League history. An 8,000-seat single-tier stand is being engineered to trap noise like a pressure cooker, blasting it back at the pitch. That's more fans than Madison Square Garden can hold, in just one stand. So, how do engineers build this monster without pausing the season? And what secrets lie beneath the new roof? Welcome to Big Builds. Setting the stage. The Etihad Stadium wasn't always the beating heart of Manchester City. In fact, it didn't even start as a football stadium. When it opened in 2002, it was built for the Commonwealth Games, designed for athletics, not football. That meant long curves, wide spacing, and a giant running track. After the Games, £42 million was spent to rip out the track, lower the pitch by 6 meters, and bring fans closer. But still, it never felt quite right. Over the years, Manchester City has turned into a global football powerhouse. They won titles, broke records, and brought home trophies. But the stadium, it didn't keep up. At just over 55,000 seats, it ranked only 7th in England. Compare that to Old Trafford's 74,000 or Tottenham's 62,000, and you see the problem. Less fans meant less money. And the acoustics? Even worse. The bowl-shaped design lets sound drift upward and out, diluting the roar of the crowd into a quiet hum. Fans and rivals started calling it the Etihad, not because the seats were empty, but because the energy was. And then came 2008. That year, Sheikh Mansour's Abu Dhabi United Group took over Manchester City. Suddenly, money wasn't a problem. Ambition was limitless. They didn't just want to compete, they wanted to dominate. But to do that, the Etihad needed to evolve. The club's waitlist for season tickets was over 15,000 strong. UEFA's financial fair play rules made stadium revenue more important than ever. So, the plan was clear. Turn a quiet stadium into a cauldron of sound, a money-making machine, and a symbol of the club's future. But how exactly do you rebuild a stadium while still using it? Engineering details. That's the challenge engineers at the Etihad are solving in real time. And it starts with one of the boldest architectural moves in Premier League history, the complete transformation of the North Stand. And the job went to a heavyweight, Populous, the same firm behind the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Wembley, and Yankee Stadium. Their goal? Turn a two-tiered shell into a single-tier colossus that feels like a freight train of sound when it's full. This new North Stand will hold up to 8,000 people on one uninterrupted tier. That's roughly the entire capacity of the Denver Nuggets Ball Arena, compressed into a single wall of human energy. With the rebuild, the stadium grows from 55,000 seats to around 62,000. That makes it England's fourth largest club stadium, behind Old Trafford, Tottenham, and Arsenal's Emirates. But what makes this rebuild especially radical isn't just the scale, it's the science behind the shape. The single-tier structure isn't a coincidence. It's engineered to produce one thing: pressure, a wave of sound. When 8,000 people chant in unison without being broken into multiple levels, that sound doesn't just rise, it hits. It folds into itself, reverberates back down, and spreads across the pitch like thunder. It's the same psychological effect seen in Dortmund's Yellow Wall or Liverpool's Kop. But at the Etihad, it's being designed from the ground up with acoustic calculations to make that roar more intense and more controlled than ever before. And controlling that energy means engineering every seat, every surface, every sound wave. This is where rail seating comes into play. Unlike the rigid plastic chairs most fans are used to, rail seating lets people safely stand and bounce while watching the game. It's built with waist-high metal rails for safety, so no one topples forward, even during the wildest celebrations. At least 3,000 rail seats are being installed, and that number could go up. Standing support has been missing in English top-flight stadiums for years, but it's returning in a way that meets today's safety codes while capturing the old spirit. But the upgrades don't stop with the roar. Populous designed the new North Stand to also feel human, more inclusive, more welcoming, and more connected to Manchester's diverse fan base. There are dedicated family sections and a special focus on young supporters, with thousands of seats held for fans under 21. The new concourses include multi-faith prayer rooms, alcohol-free zones, and breakout areas for fans to relax away from the main crowd. For those seeking a premium experience, the old hospitality boxes have been replaced by a 500-seat food hall and a new premium bar that can fit around 300 people. It's a full-service matchday destination. Food, comfort, and football all built into the same blueprint. But all of this would fall flat without solving the real villain of the original Etihad: sound loss. That bull-shaped bowl just wasn't built for football acoustics, and that's where this project really starts flexing its engineering muscle. Populists took lessons learned from Wembley and Tottenham and applied them directly to the Etihad's redesign. Every surface, every angle, every layer was modeled to control the movement of sound. Using acoustic simulation software, engineers tested how chants would travel from seat to seat, how wind or humidity could disrupt it, and how materials could amplify or kill the noise. They even took the seat upholstery into account. Yes, softer materials help absorb the unwanted echoes that hard plastic would otherwise throw around the stadium. The roof is shaped and lined to direct sound downward, making the cheering feel closer and more immersive. It's not just about being loud, it's about being sharp, powerful, and clear. To deliver all this, engineers are installing line array speakers, special audio stacks that hang vertically but push sound out in wide, horizontal beams. They're tailored to the shape of the crowd and keep the sound from getting lost in corners or bouncing around in weird ways. The system constantly adjusts to real-time weather conditions, including wind speed and humidity. It's almost like a smart thermostat, but for sound. One moment, it's a dry evening and the acoustics are crisp. Next, the rain starts, and the system adapts to ensure nothing gets muffled. And they didn't stop there. They're using spatial audio systems that can replicate the direction of movement. If a chant starts on one side of the stadium, it won't just be a sound file playing. It'll feel like it's traveling, growing, pulsing with the crowd. Even announcements and music are tuned to flow naturally from one end to the other. The experience is less like sitting in a stadium and more like stepping into a living, breathing concert hall built for football. But none of this would work without a massive rethink of the roof, and that's where things get extremely delicate. The Etihad has a unique tension ring roof, supported by a web of steel cables and 36 masts standing 70 meters tall. That's roughly the height of a 23-story building. The roof itself spans 240 meters, about 2.5 football pitches, and covers nearly 40,000 square meters. That's bigger than the Pentagon's courtyard. But here's the problem. The roof is pre-tensioned. That means the steel structure is under constant pressure, like a guitar string tuned tight. You can't just chop a section out and bolt on a new one. It could snap. So engineers had to cut into this high-pressure system using an interim roof method. That involved carefully jacking up the steel in pairs, releasing tension bit by bit, and welding in new spans that could handle the added load. These new spans stretch 45 meters across and use high-strength steel to keep the structure stable without adding bulky columns that would ruin sightlines. To shape the acoustics even further, materials like K13 insulation and Megasorber acoustic panels were sprayed or installed inside the roof cavity. K13 can be applied up to 12.7 centimeters thick in one go and cuts down harsh reverberation. Megasorber's patented wave breaker technology absorbs echo and dampens harsh highs, making chants crisper and louder. This mix of material science and architecture means the stadium doesn't just look bigger, it sounds alive. But perhaps the greatest feat in this story isn't what's being built, it's how it's being built, because the stadium never closed. Construction has been running in the background during the live match days, and not just quietly, strategically. The contractor, John Sisk and Son, planned the entire job around the football calendar. They've only had a few weeks each summer when the pitch is accessible. The rest of the time, they operate like shadows, never interfering with the fans' experience. Only 2 rows of seats were ever taken offline at once. Everything else? Carefully hidden scaffolding, cranes scheduled between fixtures, and overnight shifts. Carl Brierly, the project director, described it like working as the borrowers, tiny people doing big things without anyone noticing. But that doesn't mean the work was small. Since autumn 2023, teams have been racing against the clock. By May 2024, the steel frame of the new north stand was clearly visible above the old structure. In November, engineers hit what they called the point of no return, when the new steel frame fused with the original stadium. From that point on, there was no turning back. It was all in. Groundworks, roof sections, and acoustic paneling continued through summer and winter. As of June 2025, the frame is nearly complete. The next milestones: finishing the roof, installing the seats, and wiring in all the new audio tech. And the timeline, tight. Manchester City hopes to unveil the new North Stand during the 2025 to 2026 season, targeting January 2026 for its grand opening. But even once that part is done, the wider Etihad campus transformation will continue into late 2026. The design, the steelwork, the sound tuning, it's all racing toward a finish line that will redefine what a football stadium in England can be. So if you thought this was just about adding more seats, wait until you see what the Etihad is turning into next. The Etihad campus vision. What Manchester City is building goes far beyond football. It's a full-blown urban transformation. The Etihad campus is evolving into a futuristic sports and entertainment district designed to function all year round, not just on match days. Think of it like a mini-city, built around the heartbeat of football, but pumping energy into retail, business, culture, and hospitality. Right next to the stadium, an all-new 400-room hotel is rising. This isn't just for traveling fans, it's designed to become part of the experience. Some rooms will offer views of the pitch, others will be equipped for team analysts and the press. Below it, a brand new museum and club shop, 3 times larger than the current one. Visitors will be able to walk through the city's history, shop for exclusive gear, and grab a coffee, whether or not there's a match that day. But the real game changer is what's being called the Sky Bar. Perched above the North Stand, this premium hospitality zone will include a rooftop walk that curves along the stadium's upper edge. Guests will be able to sip drinks while watching the sunset over the pitch, or turn around and look out over Manchester's skyline. It turns a football game into a full-day destination. It's Wembley mixed with Hollywood Boulevard. Add to that a revamped fan plaza on the stadium's east side. This will include food stalls, merchandise trucks, entertainment zones, and digital installations. It's being designed like a festival ground, open before and after matches, creating a full matchday experience that stretches across hours and attracts visitors who may not even have a ticket. The idea? Turn the Etihad into a destination, not just a venue. Financially, this is one of the smartest long-term plays in the Premier League. While the entire project is expected to cost around £300 million, or $405 million, much of it is designed to pay itself back. More fans, more hospitality, more commercial space, it all translates to higher revenue. And for a club operating under financial fair play rules, that matters. Matchday income becomes a crucial piece of the financial puzzle. More importantly, it gives City a stronger voice in the European stadium conversation, alongside Tottenham, Real Madrid, and Bayern Munich. And the best part? As of mid-2025, it's all on schedule. The roof frame is nearly complete. The new sound system is being tuned. The steel shell of the new North Stand has already become part of Manchester's skyline. And if everything continues on pace, the first fans will walk into the transformed Etihad in early 2026. Not just to see a football match, but to feel the rumble of a city that built something truly incredible. So what do you think? Can engineering fix a stadium's soul? Because this isn't just concrete and cables. It's sound science. It's structural poetry. It's Manchester City building not just for today, but for generations to come. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, tap subscribe, and turn on notifications for more jaw-dropping stadium transformations and engineering mega projects from around the world. This has been Big Builds. See you in the next one.